This is my 10 by 14 Fort McPherson canvas wall tent. I've had it since I was 18, so I think that's, what, 4 years? I have a tarp on the outside just so that snow comes off easier. I don't have anything pulled out, but normally these would, you know, get pulled out, and they have the adjustment thing on here. This is to help keep the stack in place. We are staying in an electrical campground, as we were in the last time I did this video. So I've taken advantage of the electrical. This is glamping. Yeah, let's go look. Alrighty. This is my castle. The first thing you might notice is all of the super colorful blankets hung up along my entire tent. I like to do this because I've noticed that when the stove is going super hot, behind here is cold, so when you put the blankets here, it makes it way more cozy, and it just kind of keeps the warmth in. I've noticed it also just looks really cool, and it gives me an excuse to keep buying wool blankets from the thrift store, so you can't go wrong there. The first thing that you have at the I have at the front of the tent is this table, and it has everything I use to cook and prepare food and drinks and everything. Really, I have an electric kettle. I have an induction stovetop. You know how cool it is to not have to cook yourself while cooking your food with the wood stove? I find this really helpful. Again, we're on electrical, so I like taking advantage of it since we are paying for it, right? And it's instant, right? I don't have to stoke the stove and get it going. Whereas like when we're backcountry, that's how you cook. So that's how, you know, you have to get your fire going and, you know, actually have the heat to cook your food, whereas this is just instant. Super easy. Cooking area was way messier before I filmed this video. Just cleaned it up a little bit for you guys. This is our little power bar. I've just hung it around the rafter and everything just gets plugged into here. Everything is kind of wrapped around cord-wise just so that it's out of the way, and that just helps maximize our space. It also just makes it look way neater. That way you don't have, you know, all these cords hanging. Like this could even be wrapped more, but that's just me being picky. I have this little line here, and we usually hang our tea towels and everything else that really needs to be hung on here. And then we have garbage, and then, oh, this thing. So this thing, my mom thrifted me. She thrifted this for me for Christmas. And I think it's what you used to like hang in your car to hold clothing. Like, you know how you can have those little hooks in your car that you can hang your dry cleaning off of? I kind of think that's sort of like what this is, but it's nice because at night I can take this little hook and I can hook it onto right here, and because heat rises, it usually goes higher, but because heat rises and it's right next to the stove, it dries off all of our socks, all of our mittens, all of our anything that usually goes on here. And then during the day, so it's out of your way, I've just put a little gear tie right here to stop it from sliding. And it's so convenient. Like it's my first year with this and I'm totally happy with it. Everything gets stored underneath. We have a little heater here. Haven't really been using it because it's super warm out, but it's always there if we do need it, or the extra little bit of heat when you don't want to be burning the stove. This is the stove. It's an eco stove. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's the Alaskan, but it's big. We have our little temperature gauge on here. We have our heat powered stove fan. So it's like the eco fan, but not the actual eco fan. And I think it's better, in my opinion. It's got more blades. The heat like that it throws off is amazing. This is where we put the wood board down underneath just to keep to have a floor in here, since this floor doesn't regularly, or this tent doesn't usually regularly have a floor. So we put the wood board down, then this mat, then this stuff called reflectants, which is essentially emergency blanket material bubble wrap, and it just reflects the heat back up so we don't get melt. It's working amazing because we don't have any mess in here. And then these are just rubber mats. I think they're from Costco, and it's perfect. I love this, the way this is set up, and it's so cool because the tent will never ever be set up again exactly like this, but I think this is definitely the not cleanest, like the most organized, and I've maximized all of my space. I love having this, just stacking everything. Then we have our 3 cots. These are just Eureka cot. just the regular size, and then we put like huge sleeping bags. Again, we're car camping, so it doesn't really matter what we have, but we have these big sleeping bags, and then we'll shove like a heating blanket and then thinner sleeping bags in between. And then we have wool blankets underneath. We'll always try to put wool underneath you because there's open air under your cot, and even though we do have stuff there, when it is super cold, you can get a chill up underneath you and it could make you cold. Same thing here. This is my bed. I usually have my head down at this end so that in the morning I can take my stick, you know, I can damper my stove, I can stock it, I can put my wood in, but this trip it's so mild that I've actually had to flip my head down at the other end, and we've been stocking the stove up and dampering it completely down at night and not even letting it get super hot, because once it gets hot in here with it being so mild, I feel like I'm on fire. And then this year, usually there's a thing called a bellows, which is kind of like that telescopic tube thing, and that helps you blow your fire, but I've just gone and picked up one of those metal straws from the dollar store, and it actually works just as good as the bellows, and it's like way stronger, right? Like the bellows is, you got to be careful about how you know, put it back down and store it. Like my last one, I think I stepped on it and it was garbage, and this is just awesome. That's that. Gear line. This is to help dry stuff out at night. Usually we'll hang like our jackets or towels or whatnot. Cute little fairy lights because I think they look good. And yeah, I just like them. Hockey sticks usually get hung up here. Again, I usually have a sibling in here, but they've moved out of my tent for the night. So this is where the hockey sticks usually go, and it just keeps everything up. Again, that's where I go back to the maximizing the space thing, because everything is just has its own spot and I love it. But yeah, besides that, I think that pretty much sums up my tent this year. It's a little different than last year and way more organized, but I hope you're able to take a tip or trick or something from my video. And if you have anything, any ideas or any other tips that could benefit me or I could use, I would love to hear those as well, because I am always looking for ways to improve my glamping, campground, hot tent setup. But I think I'm pretty happy with this one. Oh, last thing. Carbon monoxide detector and a fire extinguisher. Always have these in your tent if you were hot tenting, and it's that thing where, you know, you can buy this, it's gonna last you for 10 years. This one doesn't expire. Yeah, buy it. Honestly, it's worth it. Like, this one doesn't expire for another 10 years. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to hearing any other, you know, ideas that you might have.